When we have an undesirable event that occurs in our lives, one of the first things the enemy comes for is our peace. He knows that if he can come and steal our peace, if he can come and plant seeds that disrupts our peace, then he's got us, because our minds will not be focused on solutions, and there definitely won't be focused on God. We are going to be focused on the things that we cannot change, the things that are going to weigh us down and really diminish our faith. So we have to find a way to fight back when things are happening. All right, so let's talk about it right after this. Hey sis, welcome to Goodbye Heartbreak, Hello Healing. Are you hurt and confused after a recent breakup? Are you having thoughts like, I can't believe I'm here again? Why wasn't I enough for him? Or I'm never going to get married? Do you find yourself Googling how to get past the breakup or how to heal my broken heart? Do you start your morning feeling like you can finally breathe again, only to fall apart when you see a picture of your ex on social media? Hey sis, I'm Candace. I too was a single Christian woman who was heartbroken but still desired marriage. I too had numerous failed relationships and wished the right man would come along. I wanted closure from past relationships, healing for my heart, and I wanted to feel joy in my life again. But the truth is, I had no idea where to start or how to make any of this happen until I found the secret, partnering with God to heal from heartbreak. In this podcast, you will find tips for moving on after breakups, growing your relationship with God, and preparing for future relationships so that you will heal your heart and be ready to move forward into the life you desire. So turn off those heartbreak songs and turn me up in those earbuds. It's time to heal, sis. Hey sis, and welcome back for another episode of Goodbye Heartbreak, Hello Healing. Thank you so much for joining me on today. I really miss you guys, and I'm so excited about today's episode. But before we jump into that, I want to make sure that you are subscribed to the podcast. Even though I haven't been putting out episodes every week over this summer, I know we still have a lot of new people who've been binge watching the 180 some odd episodes that are already up. And so welcome to all of the new listeners. Wherever you're listening, please hit your subscribe button. And also, if you have not yet left your 5-star written review, please go ahead and leave a written review on Apple Podcasts to let me know how much you are enjoying the show. Also, something else that happened a couple of weeks ago over the summer, I launched a new reading plan on YouVersion. All right. So YouVersion is a Bible app. So I already have 2 plans up, and I have a third one now. It's called Renew Your Strength After a Breakup. It's a 5-day plan, so it's not too taxing. I think that's a good amount for you just to get a taste of what things are like, but 5 days to really spend in God's Word. And if you're somebody who's struggling to really regain your strength, renew your strength after a breakup or a divorce, this is definitely the plan for you. These 5 devotions from this reading plan came directly from my book, so that's also a plus. You get to read and find out what it's like, get some free content from the book. And if you like it, maybe you go ahead and purchase it so that you'll have it for the entire year. But it's really good. I've gotten some great feedback thus far, so make sure you check it out. I have a link for you in the show notes. Speaking of the book, okay, so this thing happened, right? I was going to my car in the morning. I had a cup of coffee in hand, a book, a journal, a backpack, kids' cups. Like, I had a handful of stuff. Well, I go to dump everything on my front seat, and what do? I dump my coffee out, okay? And so the coffee kind of falls, and it spills a little bit on the book. It did not get soaked. It's not all in the pages, but at the bottom part of the book, it bothers me that there's a coffee stain right there. And so what I decided to do about that is to sell it at a very discounted price. And so what I am doing right now, if you are interested, I have this one set available. It is a book and a journal. Again, the book is not really messed up in any way. It's just the bottom part of the book that has the coffee stain and a little bit of splashes on the journal as well at the bottom, but none got on the actual pages of the book. So what I've decided to do is to sell the set at a discounted price that's even cheaper than the book alone. So you get the book and the journal for cheaper than just the book. So if you are interested in getting this set, again, I only have one that I'm offering at this price because of my clumsy mistake with the coffee. Okay. But if you're interested, go to CandiceABaddies.com/shop, and instructions are to just put the book in your cart. You're going to act like you're just purchasing the book, but the journal will come for free. It just won't show up in your purchase, but just put the book in your cart and purchase it with the discount code coffee. All right. And I will put that in the show notes as well. And again, I'm sorry, y'all. I apologize. But if you don't mind the little coffee stand at the bottom, you can get the entire set. Just again, go to CandiceABaddies.com/shop. Go and purchase just the book with the discount code coffee. And I will send you the book and the journal at one time. All right. So thank you so much. And I appreciate you guys. And remember, this is my 365-day devotional. It's a journey from heartbreak to growing your relationship with God, to regaining your strength, joy, peace, all the way through purpose in one full year. All right. So it's totally worth the investment. And if at any point in time you feel like you want to purchase the book, the journal, or both, you can always use the discount code podcast10 for a 10% discount for being a loyal podcast listener. So on to today's topic. All right, we are talking about peace on today because I know that so many women are struggling with their peace after their breakups, after their divorces, and it is wreaking havoc in so many women's lives. And trust me, I know the feeling. And it's not just when breakups happen. It's like when anything happens, that something that we did not want to happen, something that is trying to war against us, something that's, really just trying to take us in the wrong direction. It's just like any type of negative thing that happens. Our peace is one of the first things to go, okay? And when the peace leaves, then the other things tend to follow. When your peace leaves, you tend to lose your joy. You tend to lose your faith. You tend to lose your strength. You tend to question your identity. You tend to stray away from God. There's all kinds of things that happen when the enemy comes in and disrupts your peace. And so he knows how important your peace is, which is why he's coming for it. He only comes to steal, kill, and destroy, sis. And so with that being said, this breakup that has come and caused you so much pain, he's going to use that event in your life to really rob you of your peace if you let him. So today we're going to talk about the 5 ways to fight back, to fight for your peace. I went through this. I had to do these 5 things because I struggled when I went through my breakup. And I even talk about when I separated from my husband for a little while, my peace was at stake. Okay. And yes, I lost it, but I had to get it back because that is no way for us to live. It's no way for anyone to live, but especially a believer. You should not have to live without your peace. So let's talk about how to fight for it. Number 1, you have to pray. That is a non-negotiable, okay? You have to be in contact with God because those are the times when the enemy can come in and really set his traps. He's like, oh yeah, you're not talking to God as much. You thinking about your problems instead of praying. And so Ephesians 6:12 tells us that, we do not war against flesh and blood, but against these principalities and rulers of darkness in high places. And so if that is the case, the only way you're going to fight and the only way you're going to win this war, this battle against the spirit realm is to fight in the spirit, which means you have to pray to God. You have to be in communication with God and let him lead you, let him guide you and direct you. Also, who better to cast your cares on than God? I know there's so many people we want to talk to about our problems, what we're going through and struggling with, but they can't give you the peace that God can. So he says, I believe it's in Philippians, that don't worry about anything, but pray about everything. Pray about everything. And then the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your heart and mind in Christ Jesus. So he says, pray. Prayer is the key. And it's the number one thing. It's the one non-negotiable that you cannot afford not to do. You cannot afford to forego prayer. You have to do it, sis. You have to. Number 2, command your morning. Okay, how you start your day matters. So, what do I mean by command your morning? You're going to have to be intentional about making your morning a good morning. So, number one way to command your morning is to start it off in prayer. All right. And another way is to affirm yourself in the morning. Talk about this day will be for you. One of my favorite things I love to say is scripture. And I say, God, this is the day that you have made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Especially when I know I'm in a place where I'm struggling with some things, I'm walking through tests and trials. I say, oh no, this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice. I'm choosing to rejoice. You choose before the day even starts that you're going to rejoice and be glad in it. You don't care what's going to happen. We don't even know what's going to happen because you're going to say, sis, how can I say that when I don't know what the day holds? That's the point. You don't know what's going to happen in your day, but if you start off right and you command what's going to happen in your day, or how you are going to react and respond to what happens in your day, then it's going to go a lot better and a lot smoother than you just letting it go however it goes, letting the wind blow you whichever way that it blows. No, you command your morning and take charge of your day. Number 3, let go of offenses. All right. So this one is a bit harder. It's going to take time. It's going to take work, and it requires forgiveness. Okay. So the offenses are things that people have done to you. People have wronged you, and they have, caused you to be in this place of not having your peace, a place of worry, a place of offense, a place of anger, bitterness. All of those things rob you of your peace. All right. So it is something that you do have to work on. But once you are getting to a place where you're able to let go of the offenses, then those things no longer hold you captive. They don't hold you captive in your mind. Because that's the place, okay? When you're bitter, when you're angry, when you're always worrying about what someone did to you, when you're holding on to unforgiveness, it's in your mind that it affects you the most. So working on letting go of your offenses is a key component of fighting for your peace. And it's not easy. Trust me, it is not easy. It is actually something that I have walked through over the past several months. You get to a place where you feel like you're good, and then things happen in life, and then you're like, oh my goodness, I didn't even realize that I had more offenses that I needed to let go of and overcome. So it is, again, something that you need to check quite often. Am I feeling offended by someone? But as you are walking through this season of healing right now, then all the things that have offended you, either if it's just by the person who you're no longer in relationship with, or if there are other people who contributed to that you're also holding on to unforgiveness for, sis, it's time to learn to let that go. And it sometimes feels comforting to hold on to that unforgiveness. But I promise you, if you are able to let it go, you will feel a lot more peaceful. Okay, a lot. Number 4, choose positive thoughts over negative ones. All right, you have to train your thoughts. You have to train your mind how you want it to think. And I think some of us believe that we don't have control over that. You're like, oh no, I just have all these thoughts that are running through my mind. And it's true. We have tons of thoughts that run through our minds every day, like thousands of thoughts enter our minds every day. But we get to choose the ones that we want to focus on. We get to choose the ones that we want to meditate on. We get to choose the one we want to ruminate on. And I know in this season, it seems easier and sometimes more comforting to think about those negative thoughts, to think about the things that are bothering you, because our minds will trick us into believing that, you know what, you're thinking about this because you're thinking of a solution for that. But sometimes you'll find yourself 12 hours later still thinking about the same thing with no solution. And we're not going to get a solution unless we do what? Go back to prayer. The number one thing that I said. So it's important to choose the positive thoughts over the negative ones. Am I saying to ignore what's happened to you? Absolutely not. I'm not saying that, you have to completely, because at some point you're going to have to deal with the negative thoughts. You are going to have to address them. Okay, because you want to overcome all of that. You don't want these things to continue even entering into your mind. But at some point also, you have to choose that you're not going to meditate on that for no reason at all. If you're not in a place of seeking a solution, if you're not working with a coach, if you're not going to therapy, if you're not bringing it to God in prayer, then there's no need to even get into those negative thoughts. If you're not journaling about it, if there's no resolution that you're working on at that moment, then there's no need for you to pick up that negative thought. So if you're just going about your day and a negative thought pops into your head, and you are not about to do anything about it, but just think about it and meditate on it, then you have to learn how to take that thought captive, release it to God, and choose a positive one to replace it. All right. And if you want to work through all of that, sis, look, book a coaching session with me. There's links in the show notes for that as well. We can always work on that, but that is a very important thing to do if you're going to fight for your peace. And then number 5, the final thing that you have to do is to learn to live in the present. What robs us of our peace so much is living in the past, thinking about what was, what could have been, all of these things, and also living in the present when we're trying to think about what we wanted and the life that we should have had with this person and what our lives would have looked like and what are we going to do next. But right now, especially while you're trying to heal, you need to be present, okay? One, you need to enjoy each moment as it comes, living moment by moment and day by day. But also, you have to be able to deal with the things that are happening in the present, because the past and the future are sometimes escapes where we tend to live there instead of dealing with the hurt in the present, right? Instead of going ahead and addressing it and attacking it and finding the resolutions like I talked about. No, we decide we're going to live in the past, we're going to live in the present, we're going to meditate on those things. And then we look up and we're like, I forgot to heal. I didn't do anything about this thing. And so now I'm still in pain. My heart's still broken 6 months to a year from now. So let's not do that. Learn to live in the present. Again, one, to enjoy it, but two, also to actually do what needs to be done to heal your broken heart so that you can move on pain-free. And yes, I said pain-free because I believe that that is available for you. I know it was available for me, and I got to a place where I was able to heal and move on without the hurt and pain of my past. And if I can do that, then I believe you can do it too. All right. So let's go through these 5 ways to fight for your peace again. All right. You're under attack. I got you, sis. These are the 5 things you're going to do. Number 1, you're going to pray. Number 2, you're going to command your morning every morning. Number 3, you're going to let go of offenses. Number 4, you're going to choose positive thoughts over the negative thoughts. And number 5, you're going to live in the present. All right. And these are great ways to really fight for your peace, because peace, again, is a non-negotiable. You need that. You need that to walk in the things of God. You cannot walk in the things of God and have faith if you're constantly worried about what's going to happen. You're constantly worried about other people. You're constantly worried about when's the other shoe going to drop. You're constantly worried about what your future is going to look like. You know, all of these things will keep you outside of the realm of peace, but you want God's peace. Ask for your daily bread every single day. When you say the Lord's Prayer and you get to that part where you say, Lord, give me this day my daily bread, that peace is included in that. God, look, I don't know about tomorrow and what that's going to look like, but today, please give me my peace for today. And that's what that prayer comes into play. It's important, sis. And that's another way to command your morning. Do not discount the Our Father prayer. Command your morning with it. Say it with authority. Say it like you mean it, all right? Like you know what you're doing here. I love y'all so much. I hope you found this episode helpful. Please come to the Facebook group. Let me know which 2 of these, not just one, because everybody needs to do number 1 for sure. All right. Prayer is a non-negotiable. But tell me the second thing also that you're going to implement this week, that you're going to work on this week to fight for your peace. All right. I love you so much, and I'll talk to you again real soon. Bye. Hey, sis. Listen, if you have been blessed, changed, or inspired by this podcast in any way, please subscribe to the podcast and leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. This is the number 1 way that you can thank me and show support for the show. Also, if this podcast blessed you, don't keep it to yourself. Do a quick share and bless someone else. Please know I am so grateful for each and every one of you, and I would love to hear from you. Come connect with me and other like-minded individuals in my Facebook group called Christian Women Overcoming Heartbreak and Finding Purpose. I can't wait to meet you back here really soon. Until then, remember to love the life you have while you're making it better. Love you, sis.